Hello everyone, welcome back to It's Time to Leave. It's time to leave. Give me 5 seconds and I'll probably burp.
Okay.
I lied.
Well, oh. Well, hardly the first time.
Yeah, I felt like one was gonna happen, then it didn't. At least it's not a sneeze that you think's gonna happen, then doesn't happen. Those are the fucking worst.
Or worst of all, when you have a sneeze, but it does happen, but it doesn't like come out properly. Like catches in your nose. It's all.
Oh yeah, where it's just in your nose, and you're just like, oh cool, I just have to deal with this now.
Great, now I have searing pain.
This is fun.
Just what I always wanted. It's a Christmas miracle.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Oh,
When
yeah,
the
we're
fuck did
back
I
off.
When the fuck did I get Chivy Crockett to be an ace? Or whatever. But yeah, we're back
We're-
after Crembo.
After our winter break. Oh, yeah, I did see you put like proper Crimbo, and I was like, "There's no way you've heard that song."
Yes, I have.
Wow, really?
Yes, I have it on my
Wow.
computer.
What a dated fucking reference. I don't even like Bo Selector.
I don't either, but that song was like, I don't know how it got on my computer, but it was on my computer and it like played randomly, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Hey ho, proper Crimbo. So
Uh,
excited you just might we.
I like though that it played while I was playing Worms. I don't know why, but I feel like that's fitting. But anyway, yeah, we're back. I took the time to write down. Sabo's not here, so we can either just pretend that we make up a list for him for comedy's sake, or I just list what we got. I don't know.
Well, I don't think his list will be actually that interesting. So, and even for comedy, so it's not even like funny stuff came out last year. Now that we're in the world of tomorrow,
Yeah.
the far-flung future of 2022.
Did I already get Ro as an ace? I must have. Oh yeah, she's already an ace. I was trying to find her to make sure she was, you know, set. Let me put her on training though, so that way I can level her up. But yeah. You want to go first? Or you want me to do mine first?
Well, I'm currently scrambling because I forgot we were meant to do this. I'm like, did I even play 8 games? Did I even play 10 new games this year?
I mean, I just picked. Like, was it half of my list is Actually, no. Actually, less. There's actually a number of games that were from this year. There was some that I forgot came out this year, though, that got on here, and then I was like, oh. But, the bottom half of the list is, shit that I played this year for the first time, versus, you know, just full-on games that just games that came out this year. So I guess I'll do mine while you kind of scramble. When I get to the 5, I'll do some of the things that I put aside as, like, I guess, like, ones I want to mention that I played that I thought were alright. Alright, so number 10, Record of Lodoss War, Daylight and Wonder Labyrinth. It's literally like Symphony of the Night. It's, like, even down to her animation, I enjoyed it.
Good thing that Metroidvania is coming back.
Let's see here. Now, this one, I'm going to mention one of the honorable mentions next to it, as in kind of explain why it beat it out and got on here instead of it. So, this was another one that came out last year as well, Project Wingman.
Yeah.
Which I've jokingly referred to as Ace Combat 6 because I've never played Ace Combat 6. Now, the reason I put it in over Ace Combat 7 is 2 reasons. One, I honestly, and why Ace Combat 7 isn't going to be on here. One, I wasn't quite sure if I first started playing it before, if it was on last year's list or not. I couldn't remember. So, it was kind of in that question mark category, and I kind of like Project Wingman a little bit more. Though both are great games, don't get me wrong. And I kind of only wanted to have one flyer game. If Project Wingman wasn't something I played last year, I probably would have put Ace Combat on there, and be damned if I put it on twice. I would have just did it, and someone pointed out, I'd be like, well, it's both years, fuck it. If Cyberpunk can get nominated for 2 years, I can nominate this for 2 years. Or put it on my list, fuck off.
I'll allow it.
Number 8 was Hades, because that was also something that I played this year for the first time, and it didn't make it on the last year's list, because I remember that was a conversation topic.
What did you play it on?
PC.
Okay, I was gonna say because if you played it on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, or Xbox Series X, it count. It would count because it did come out this year on those consoles.
Yeah, no, I got it. What's funny was my friend gifted it to me last year, during the New Year, because I was talking to her about it, and I said like, yeah, that studio makes a lot of games I like, but when it always ends up happening, I keep going like, yeah, I'm gonna play that one day, and then I just never buy it or do. So she's like, oh, okay, and then she bought it for me.
That's fair. It's definitely a game I enjoyed, but I also kind of prefer. It's one of those things where I think it works. It's much like how we discussed with Sonic Mania many years ago. It's one of the few games that I feel does benefit from the Switch being quote unquote a handheld.
Oh, honest to God, I could if I got it on PC, but like, it's definitely like something that if I had on the Switch, I would also play on that, like on break at work and such. Like, I do really like it. And I even would play it like in small bursts, like after work, when if I didn't have much time before I had to go to bed, I would play it for a little bit, because it was one of those kind of games that you could just play in those quick shots. And it's really good, even if you can just like marathon it for a bit.
I enjoy it. My only issue, it's not even really an issue with it, is the fact that have you beaten it fully yet?
Yes.
That's kind of my thing, is that unlike, say, other roguelikes, like I'm thinking of like Slay the Spire and stuff, which even after you beat, it feels fine to play it. I kind of, with Hades, once I finished the story, I was kind of like, the gameplay's fine, I enjoy it, but then it's like, I don't really have the incentive to play.
That's kind of what happened to me with, there's a game called Going Under, which is another roguelike that came out at the same time. And I actually just now remember that I played it this year, because I played it after I played Hades. And, like, it's not on the list at all. It wasn't even an honorable mention, because I forgot that I fucking played it. It was okay, but, like, I played through it. I beat all the dungeons pretty quickly. And then I got to basically the fully random one, and so like it has like a story progression, but it doesn't kind of game. And so like I eventually just lost kind of the incentive or interest in playing it, because I felt like, oh, I've beaten it, this is everything now, and then I walked away from it. And it's not even on the list because I forgot that I even played it until just now. So yeah, so Hades, number 7, Back 4 Blood, or as I've been calling it, Left 4 Dead 3.
Yes.
I mean, it's the same developer, so I'm allowed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good.
It does seem to be just like Left 4 Dead, but But I guess from what I've seen, it might have been patched by now since I last looked at it, but it does look like it needs a little bit of polish.
I played it, like, I only really started playing it, like, because I got it for Christmas, so I think I played it after patches, but me playing it has been pretty smooth. I haven't really had any problems. Apparently the AI when the game came out was a fucking shit show. But from what I've been able to play of it, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I like it. I don't really have anything really big to say. It's Left 4 Dead with like a slight roguelike element with the card system. It's fun. That's it. Persona 5 Strikers, which is another game I remembered came out this year and forgot came out this year, but I did like it a lot. It's that thing where the early, like, start of the year games sometimes get blurred into last year games, if that makes any sense. And sometimes, like, late end of the year games get from the previous year get blended into the next year. It's one of those kind of things where my brain does that.
Yeah.
But Strikers 5, I enjoyed it. It was a fun Warriors type game.
My only real issue, I guess my issue with like Persona 5 Strikers is that it does take for fucking ever to get things going, though.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's Dynasty Warriors, man. You can't make this shit ain't complicated. Can I just go and shoot many? Can I just go and fucking attack people already?
The next, now this one I haven't played as much, which is probably why I put it I'm kind of more recently started playing this, but I put it over 5 because because I knew I was gonna. I know at the very least I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna like it a lot from where I'm in the game so far. Tales of Arise is number 5.
Fair.
Really good. I will say it's the first one where I decided to try one of the mage characters and had fun playing a mage instead of just playing the main character.
Ew, mage.
They're actually fun. I was surprised. It feels like a beefed up version of Tales of Exilius combat. But yeah, nope, like it so far. 4 is Guilty Gear Strive.
Understandable.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that. Just really good. A lot of these are not going to have anything really to add other than me just saying I like it. I guess I'll switch over to some honorable mentions. I already mentioned Ace Combat. These ones I'll only mention if it's a weird game that no one's going to know what the fuck it is. Like in terms of what the game is. Troubleshooter. It's basically a Korean XCOM and with weeb shit. It's fun. Yooka-Laylee Impossible Lair, which I did enjoy. It's Donkey Kong Country, but with proper hitboxes.
I guess I forgot they were releasing a new Yooka-Laylee thing.
Yeah, I got it in a Humble Bundle, because I get those monthly bundles, and I was like, you know what? I'll try it. It came with this bundle, why not?
It's no time to Tasmanian Tiger, though.
But,
maybe that should be the next.
Oh god, he's dying.
Am I?
Oh, you were cutting out really bad there.
No. Well, I have to hope that doesn't come back.
Just happens again.
Well, the thing's green now, so hopefully that's solved.
It did cut a little bit on that one, but we'll see. Let's see.
So I have slightly adjusted the antenna, and let's see if that fixes it. Nope.
Okay, let's see. So,
Hello?
Hello. I hear you.
Okay.
Alright, so other games that I have put on here. My friend Pedro. Mighty Goose, which was alright. It kind of like had some issues that kept it from being higher, even though it's on paper, if you look at it, it looks like a very me game. Hardcore Mecha was pretty good. It's a side-scroller mecha game.
I played that. I liked it.
The parts that hold it back are the parts where I gotta have to play as the human.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you took those parts out, it would probably make the list.
I've played that. It's definitely fun, but it's that kind of thing of... like it's there, but it's not like super raw.
Yeah. Probably if I got to play as the younger guy, I'd probably have more fun rather than the boring, serious dude. Let's see here. Uppers, which is... So, Uppers is a beat-em-up game that has a fan service mechanic that I just don't give a shit about, but it's a fun brawler.
A fan service mechanic? How
yeah,
does
there's
that
literally,
work?
like... So basically, there's requests by, like... So you play as delinquents, and there's like these girls that watch the fight, and they'll make requests, and they'll give you love letters, and you can view their model, or you can also punch enemies into them and see panty shots.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't give two flying fucks about that. I don't care about the story. It was just a fun brawler to me. That was really all I got out of it. But, like, not as fun as, like, say, like, last year when Streets of Rage fucking took #1. Let's see here. Also on here, Troubleshooter. Okay. Going back down. Monster Hunter Rise was alright. I played it for a bit. Monster Hunter games are that game where, like, I'll play them for a bit and then I just kind of get tired of them.
I keep meaning to, like, get into Monster Hunter, and then I'm like, oh, wait, the next one's going to be coming out soon, I'll wait for that. And then it comes out, and I'm like, I'm busy. And then I'm like, by the time I'm not busy, I'm like, the next one's coming out soon, I'll wait for that.
Yeah.
Next one for definite. And then it just never happens.
This one. This is the one I'm gonna play. Oh, damn! I forgot again. Let's see here. And then, Mario Golf, which is, you know, fun. But, yeah, it's just alright. Not enough to get onto the list.
Seemed like the kind of game that would be fun for a while, fun for a bit, especially if you've got friends, and then, like, yeah, just kind of...
It was something I played for, I played on breaks for a little while. And that was about it. Like, I think I played it at home, like, once or twice, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, now back onto the regular list, because we stopped at number 4, so number 3 is Metroid Dread. I mean, it was gonna get on here.
Surprised it's that low.
You're surprised it's number 3? Oh, there's a reason. You already know what my number 1 is, I'll explain. So number 2 is, is the only one that is not from this year that made it this high, because I liked it that much. Serious Sam 4.
Eh.
I like Serious Sam. That's all I can really say on that matter. And then number 1, which I've been screaming about for a while, is Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous. So, you know, kind of what was expected for number 1. I think the only surprise was probably Serious Sam bumping Metroid Dread.
Well, I guess going off of my list, crossing out the stuff that you mentioned that that we've already sort of talked about, and this isn't really in like any particular order.
Fair enough.
Except for like the top 3, I think. But RE8's on there. Like, I had issues with it, but it's definitely like an enjoyable game.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of one of those things. I'm not entirely sure what. I mean, I already did like a pretty thorough breakdown of what I liked, didn't like.
Yeah, we talked about the story stuff before.
I think one other thing that I've kind of realized, sort of coming back or looking back on it now, is it definitely has like pacing issues that the sort of other games it's obviously linked to, i.e., like RE2 Make and RE7 don't have. Like, by which I mean, there's very like it's very kind of roller coaster in terms of its pacing. So there are points where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you just like blitz through this, and there's other points where it just feels like the game's dragging to a crawl while you just do sort of boring fetch quest stuff.
Or the game decides it wants to be Amnesia for a section.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that section because it's like it's one of those things where it's like a haunted house, and it's all well and good on the first run through,
but after
on the second run through, it's just boring. And RE7 does have a section like that, but you could blitz through that pretty quickly. Like, if you already know what you're going to do, then it's like fine. And kind of the same with, I guess, the Sherry / Ada sections in RE2 Make.
Yeah.
You can finish those real quick. I should know, because I actually was
even
that
if we go into 4, which is a game I constantly critique, the Ashley section is really short. I forgot there was only 1, I think.
But the other point is that with Ada and Sherry, there is actual kind of like gameplay, and not just move to here to pick up the object. The next spook happens.
Yeah.
Oh no. So, and then it's like you already know pretty much the twist, because it's the same twist at the end of Resident Evil 7, and I didn't really like it there either. But anyway, enough talk about this game that I apparently liked. So let's talk about another game that I apparently like, but I'm probably going to spend a lot more time bitching about.
Go on.
So I played Subnautica Below Zero. I mean, technically it was in early access, but it officially released this year, and I played it. And once again, I really enjoy the first Subnautica. And in a weird kind, and Subnautica Below Zero has like a lot of really good quality of life changes, like being able to pin recipes, so they're just on screen instead of having to like fish through fucking menus or like go on the wiki to find like crafting recipes and shit like that. But then it also has too much story.
See, I can't really add commentary to this, because I've played none of the Subnautica games. They just didn't really appeal to me.
yeah, and that's fine. But I just also meant like with the first Subnautica, it's the kind of game I could play you know, for hours and hours and hours and just basically do my own thing and then be like, oh right, I guess there's technically a story, but the story's more there to facilitate more there to push you to like find new things so that you can do more stuff. It's great in that sense, and because most of that story is like just sort of optional audio logs and things that you don't have to listen to, and I generally don't, and there's pretty much no or very little dialogue except like your PDA saying random info dumps. And then Subnautica 2 has like the problem, or Below Zero, because I guess it's not technically a sequel, it's like a side game. I don't know. But then it's like, yeah, it just has lots of weird things. Like your character has a voice in their head, so they're constantly talking. And I'm like, I just want to build my sea base. I don't care about any. I just want to build Sea Lab 2021, which I'll continue to do even to the year 2022.
You're looking for me.
And I just want to fuck around and do my own thing and not have to listen to all these people wax poetic about fucking what it means to be human. It's like, I don't care, man. I just want to build my robot suit and go
damn it,
punch
I just realized I forgot to deploy Van because I know what happens in part of this fight. Damn it. Oh well.
I just want to build my robot suit and go fucking cruising around the bottom of the seabed and punch sea monsters in the face. So yeah, I do really enjoy the game, but also I'm frustrated by it.
That's understandable, honestly.
Anyway, let's talk. Anyway, on to games I like and have very few complaints about. No More Heroes 3.
I heard that one was really good.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's got kind of thing where you can see where they've learned lessons from 1 and 2, and then kind of also not learned lessons from 1 and 2 in some respects. But it is nice to have Suda51 back doing a game that's not, well, for lack of a better term, mired in other issues. Like Killer is Dead had problems, or real big problems actually.
I have Killer is Dead on Steam, but I have yet to play it.
It's fine, but it's definitely shouldn't have been a full price game. Shadows of the Damned had issues. But yeah, it's nice that Suda51 is back. It is weird, I don't know, it's kind of hard to talk about No More Heroes 3 in a sense, because it's so bizarre even by Suda standards, because then you just have things like between levels or missions, like Travis and his friend just sort of do a podcast where they talk about they talk about specifically films by the Japanese director Miike. And then there's just other random things where Travis is literally in leading up to a boss fight. Travis is like, oh wow, this is where they filmed Kamen Rider ZO. There's just so much weird referential to specifically Japanese cultural stuff. But yeah, gameplay wise, it's fun.
I mean, there's also a Demon X Machina mech.
Yeah, that shows up at the end. That's pretty cool. And then it has
another game I still want to get.
Brothers in. And then Smash Brothers is in it, which is weird because then Travis wasn't in Smash, and it feels kind of sad now.
Yeah.
But and yeah, it's the whole kind of last thing is just crazy. My only real complaint is they replaced Henry's voice actor, and now he's no longer Irish. And it's what's the fucking point? And also, I was a bit sad that there's no customizable upgrades to, or cosmetic upgrades to the Beam Saber. But yeah, other than that, all really solid game. Good old hack and slash beat 'em up action. And it's nice to have Travis make a proper comeback. So then also, yeah, Metroid Dread, and I'll probably talk a bit more about it. It's the kind of thing where in basically any other year this would be my number one game, because I've played it so much, replays, just kind of not speed running, but just trying to improve time without glitches and stuff, without doing glitches and such. Just had insanely enjoyable experience playing it, and it's nice that unlike every other Nintendo game, Metroid's not mired in infinite remakes.
Yeah. Either remakes or usually remakes the games. Actually, no, not even. They don't even remake. I'm trying to think of what remake they actually made recently.
What recently?
Yeah.
Diamond and Pearl.
Oh well, but that aren't Pokemon. I should just say. But then again, all Pokemon are just remakes of Pokemon. Except Arceus, technically, but I'll make fun of that when Arceus comes out, and I'm inevitably right.
Remakes that aren't Pokemon. Well, a couple of years back they did, obviously, Metroid 2 Samus Returns.
Yeah, I just meant, like, more recently, because, to be fair, more recently, other than Pokemon, they usually just make new shit and don't like re-releasing or remaking shit for some reason.
I have to go and have a look, but
because
I'm not entirely sure that's
unless
right.
they want to re-release Ice Climbers, then they'll just do that in a heartbeat. They love re-releasing that.
I guess this also technically counts, but I'll say that Metroid 2 is still like the number 2 slot. And like I said, this wasn't in any particular order, but like number 2 and number 1 were pretty much set in stone.
Right.
Bowser's Fury, I really enjoyed this year.
Oh yeah, I've heard that came out this year. I enjoyed that too.
But I also hadn't played like Super Mario 3D World, and like also it was like a game it's also a game that my like 4-year-old niece really liked watching, not playing, watching.
I used to do that a lot when I was a kid, like watch like older siblings or what have you play video games.
So it's nice just to have moments like that with her. So that has honestly also probably bumped up a bit.
Fair.
And then the number 1 game, it's Super Robot Wars 30. It's like
which is another game I haven't played, which I'll probably end up playing like this year, and then it'll probably end up on this year's list. Kind of like how T ended up on last year's.
Kind of like, don't really know. Talked about it a lot. So in like the last sort of, well, since it came out back in October, I feel like every episode since 6.
Yeah, there's at least been a bit of you and Sabo talking about it for a little bit.
Whenever he's been here.
Yeah, well, like 3 times.
Yeah, it's like just a game that obviously has a particular appeal to me because hey, it's the sequel, the happy ending to Gal Gaga Final we never actually got. So it's nice to have that as a thing.
And I guess maybe the reason I didn't jump on it as hard as this one is because it has a lot of stuff in it that I like, but this one is very geared towards my interests. Like I said, the only way this could have been more me is if the Maz and Kaiser was here and also Zoids and Pat Labar.
But yeah, so that is the gist of my list. There's probably some other stuff I'm not forgetting, and there's definitely stuff I played from previous years, but I'm not counting, but I don't really count a lot of that because it's stuff that I could have played, and there's other stuff that came out this year I do definitely want to play now, because I do want to play it all came out last year. I want to play Psychonauts 2.
But yeah, it's another one that I want to play too. I heard it's really good.
I do want to play like things like Spider-Man Miles Morales, but it's the kind of thing where I don't really want to play like the watered down version. I would rather just play it on like the PS5, assuming I can ever find one.
Honestly, I have no real plans on getting a PS5. I kind of don't have any interest in it because even if it and the Spider-Man game are good, I just don't really want to buy a console for it, even if I can find one for cheap, which I'm not going to be able to.
I'm not worried about finding one for cheap, but I can't find one in general.
That's what I mean. That's why I said, like, that's why I said, like, which I'm not going to be able to do because there's no way in hell I'm going to find one for cheap.
It is impressive.
Literally impossible.
It is impressive, like, how that's still just how they still just don't exist. I kind of expected this, like, shortage to eventually,
you
like...
can blame a mixture of COVID and crypto bros.
Man, I wish I could sell JPEGs and gifts to people for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Ah, I see. You also want to launder money.
Yeah. Everyone I know is too smart to buy.
What's fucking hilarious about it is I made a joke when the NFT stuff started, and I was just like, "This is an Ed, Edd n Eddy scheme. What the fuck? Why is this working? This is something the Eds would do."
Because
and then it would end, and the episode would end with like the computer overheating and exploding half the cul-de-sac.
Well, it will like crash and burn. There's no doubt about
Oh
it.
no, eventually. I just mean like that's how the episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy doing NFTs would end. Because it is an Ed and Eddie scam. That's what this is.
But I just find it all. I find it all fascinating because the only thing I can really think of for why it's taken off is that everyone is. So many people have had this like.
I feel like something like drop.
It must have been on your side.
Yeah, no, it was on my end.
It's the Christmas ghosts.
Maybe.
Anyway. Visited by Marley and Marley.
Avarice and greed. Whoa! I love that movie.
I kept meaning to rewatch it this year, then never got round to it, as is always the case.
I usually watch each year. This year, I didn't watch a whole lot of Christmas stuff because I was just very tired and didn't watch a whole lot of stuff in general. The one thing I do plan on watching tonight, because it's coming in the mail, is it finally came out, the Blu-ray of Project Echo.
Neat.
It's by Discotek, and what's cool about this release is that they, literally, to get the best picture quality possible, they invented new fucking technology to get it off the old, like, fucking beta discs. Or whatever they were called. Those old, like...
Laserdiscs?
Laserdiscs, yeah, those things.
Man.
They literally spent money to make technology to pull the video from those, which is just insane to me.
I love that Laserdiscs exist in this kind of state where they're near mythical. Which I mean, like, but it's like everyone, ever since like the Roger Rabbit thing, everyone's got this whole thing of like, oh, did you hear the Laserdisc copy of like this movie is like hardcore pornography or something?
Nah,
like, it's just, well, no, but I mean like. Ever since, there's always like some person who tries to say, "Oh, I had the Laserdisc copy and it had like this deleted scene. It changes everything." This is like playground style bullshit.
Oh, this was literally not for something like that. They just wanted to get the best image quality that they could. Discotek is really and thankfully anal about getting as best an image quality as possible, and not doing like what Funimation does sometimes, where they just crop the image. And make and like oversaturate the picture like they did with Dragon Ball.
Which time?
Like the Orange Box release, which is the only release they ever like put out anymore. What they did was they removed the film grain, and it kind of makes the picture a little looking, and they cropped the image.
I remember a friend of mine. We were talking about a movie. I don't even remember what the movie was now because it was so long ago. But it was like explaining to me like the weird variations between the home release versions, where like one of the kind of like DVD versions had like fucked up the aspect ratio, so it like cut off the top of actors' heads in close-ups.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens in some of the scenes in Dragon Ball Z Orange Box.
No idea how that can even happen. Well, in the sense of how when you're editing it, like why that would happen with a movie, especially, but
being lazy. They didn't do anything. I think it's funny they did that to try and make the picture better. The Slayers release that Funimation did, they didn't do anything to the picture at all. They just put it out, and I'm like, wow, this looks so much better. Thank you for not doing anything to it. Sometimes nothing is better.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's something I'm gonna be watching tonight when that comes in the mail.
I did wind up purchasing No Time to Die, but I still haven't. But much as the case with that movie, I've had no time to watch it. So
I don't know why it's reminding me of that fucking. It just for some reason, you think of that really stupid sci-fi movie from like 10 years ago, About Time.
That narrows it down.
It was the one where you had like X amount of time to live each day or something like that, or time was a currency. That one.
In Time, I think.
Oh, In Time. Okay. It had such a very evocative name that it was very easy for me to remember.
Or it might just be called Ty. Is it the one with like Justin Timberlake? I think.
I don't even fucking remember. I remember I made fun of it back when it came out, and then I forgot about it. I only remember just now because the time name, and not even really fully.
I think I know what film you mean, but yeah, saying that film from 10 years, that sci-fi film from 10 years ago, talking about time, that really is not helpful. You might as well say that romantic comedy. Which one? Or literally, they're all the same.
I mean, yes, they are. I think the closest one to being different is like A Night Before Christmas, where it's literally a night from the medieval era going into present time and it's Christmas. But it's only because it's so fucking batshit.
I remember for some reason I was talking with a friend about Love Actually, and they were saying, "Oh, how have you not seen Love Actually?" And I was like, "Well, you see, I have seen Love Actually because I've seen a rom-com. They're all the same.
They all do the same act structure. Middle part is where they break up over miscommunication.
And the third part is when the man goes and apologizes, because of course it's his fault."
I think the only added wrinkles are sometimes the rom-coms do the thing of the man starts off in a relationship with the boring one, and then the fun one shows up, and that's when the hijinks ensue.
Basically, if you're not like doing something like high concept, or like just where it's like something else, like a superhero movie with romantic / comedic elements, or not necessarily a superhero movie, but like something where it's not the core.
Real quick, real fast. I don't think that Zeon really thought that attack through when he decided to attack Ryoma, who was being assisted by Guy from Gao Gaigar. I just don't think that was the smartest move to make.
When has Zeon ever thought anything through?
I mean, just think about it. If you were going to war with another side, and those two are on the same side, and they happen to be right next to each other, would you dare take a shot at them?
Well, I wouldn't be a disgusting space noid, so
true.
It's a bit of a moot point.
True, but you see what I mean? Would you if you had to do that, would you take that shot, or would you just go for anything else?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Depends if I have the super heavenly invincible train Kaiser or not, though.
No, you're just a dude.
Oh, then no.
You got, like, the shitty knockoff Zaku.
I think it happened so long ago, but in like one of those sort of like 4 AM moments when you can't sleep, I came up with a mech fighting game idea.
It's been so long since we had one.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of like basically, right, 2D fighter, and then just all the characters are not even like, you know, parodies of other things, but like I thought, oh, what if you had like a Zoid, but then it's also a Transformer? So that's like, it's basically just using that as an excuse to do like a stance character.
Oh, that would be cool.
And like thinking just
I know there was an attempt not too long ago of a mech fighting game, but it wasn't very good. I don't remember what it was, though.
But that is where the Train Kaiser would come in as the secret boss, and he'd do shit like dive kick, but he'd dive kick by magicking space rails underneath him and traveling down them to kick you.
So anyway, we just make him an SNK boss, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so we just need to, like, you know, pitch this idea to someone.
And some of you people might be like, oh, SNK boss, oh, I guess like he'll just be like a boss like Seth in Street Fighter 4. I'm like, you fucking pansies, you absolute buffoons. Seth is nothing, and come back when you play some SNK games. Except for King of Fighters 2006, that one's boss was actually really weak. It feels more like a Street Fighter boss. Dan,
I hate to tell you this, but people aren't old enough to remember Street Fighter 4 anymore.
No!
Nowadays, people will just say, "Oh, you mean like Darkon from Smash Ultimate?"
No.
It's like
there was no boss in Street Fighter 5, so
it's been so long now since the new Street Fighter game that Street Fighter 5 has become the only Street Fighter game.
What a dark time.
They've done it. The madmen have done it. They have killed Street Fighter, the thing that not even Time could do. Capcom has done.
Capcom did what SNK couldn't, kill Street Fighter. That's not fair. It's not dead as much as it should be. If it was any other fighting game and it did what Street Fighter V did, it'd be dead. If it did like 2 or one of the things that Street Fighter V did, it would be dead.
Until we hear of Street Fighter 6.
No, they are making it. It was actually going to have an announcement the year that we got the season pass, but what happened was Ono was still on the project at the time and was obsessed with some weird team mechanic, and Capcom eventually came over and looked at what was being made and were like, okay, alright, we're pulling you from this. Put a new person in charge, and also put her in charge of making one more season of Street Fighter V to basically give it time. So the season of Street Fighter V that everybody likes is because of this woman that I'm forgetting the name of, unfortunately, because I wasn't ready for this. Instead of Ono, who just kind of fucked up and was too busy putting in random blondes that he thought looked hot.
I mean, I know all of this, but at the end of the day, until a trailer happens, I'm still a bit. See a trailer, I'm still dubious because it would hardly be the first time we've had a decently profitable and popular franchise that Capcom has just executed for no real reason.
I don't think that's going to be the case, to be honest with you. They've already. I mean, they don't need to execute. They don't need to do their sacrifice right now because they've already sacrificed a fucking. Give my brain a second to make the joke. They've already sacrificed Marvel vs. Capcom, and they didn't even need to do it. Disney did it for them.
Man, you almost feel sorry for. Was Seth Killian involved in the production of that?
No, it wasn't Seth. What was his name? Because Seth Killian left after.
There was some FGC nerd who was.
He left after. He left around the that. Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name. Because he was the one that really liked fucking Bionic Commando, and was the one who was like, people don't care about characters, it's all about functions, and then everyone made fun of him for that.
Yeah, where he was basically implying that people didn't like Magneto, people didn't like Magneto's 8-way dash.
Yes.
Which isn't necessarily inaccurate, but...
People are also a fan of Magneto.
Yeah, it's also the fucking X-Men. People are fans.
Because they were trying to say, like, who remembers the X-Men, and it's like...
Literally everyone.
I get you're saying that because Disney told you to say that, because Disney doesn't own it yet. Because at the time, this is for the audience, because at the time they didn't yet own the X-Men movie rights.
They only had, you know, a quarter of all the world's media, not the full third yet.
I'm just waiting for Teddy Roosevelt to rise from his grave and start slapping people. At this point, I think that's our only hope.
Problem is, if he rises, Walt would surely rise to strike him down.
Nah, I think Teddy Roosevelt would take Walt Disney.
We'll see.
Teddy Roosevelt's a Rough Rider, man. Don't fuck with him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Walt is just like Walt is just like Sheev Palpatine.
No one's ever truly gone!
No one is ever truly gone. Sheev will always keep coming back.
It's me again, Uncle Palpy!
Good old Sheev.
Rest in peace, Star Wars. Or don't. Burn in hell.
You had your chance. Just go away now.
I'm sad that it'll be slightly delayed, but my burn in hell on, you know, actual real life time was perfectly timed with Harlock's cannons just pointing at a robot and blowing it up. But yeah, no. Star Wars is fucking done to me. I don't really care. I just don't. I could lie and say I do, but nah.
I don't know, I keep thinking maybe I should watch The Mandalorian, and then I think, nah. Maybe next time. And then next time is not it. And then I'll say this: I've at least used the Disney Plus that I don't pay for, but I use a friend's account. So it's like I'm stealing. Which I prefer it that way. But I use that to watch. I'm rewatching Simpsons. I'm up to season 7, and my plan is basically to get to like the Armentem's episode and then just check out.
Just end after that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, you can end on the one scene where he just drives away going, "Up yours, children," and then you're perfect.
But
Also, thank you for telling me it's season 7, so I know where to write down.
no, it's not season 7. I think it's like season 9, but I'm on season 7.
I'll have to keep a note of that.
Alright, honestly, I actually remember what season it is.
Oh wait, I forgot. One of the things I gotta do in this mission is I gotta blow up everything but Hamon first. Alright, Noriko, you know what to do. Time to kill. It's what you're good at. Murder.
Good old murder, death, kill.
But, yeah, I'll keep in mind season 9 when that happens for because I've been occasionally poking at some episodes. I did watch some of the Christmas specials over the holiday.
I guess I can look up when it actually happens. Oh, it is season 9. Season 9, episode 2. There you go, then.
Oh, wow.
It's the day that's the episode that effectively killed the Simpsons.
This will be the day the Simpsons died. This will be the day the Simpsons die.
Because it's like, I mean, plenty of people have done lots of long-winded essays to...
Oh, yeah, where they talk about, like, how it died and everything. Like, I've watched a couple of those.
I mean, they all point to that, a lot of them do point to that episode specifically, and I do agree with the point that it is effectively when the writers make the, I guess, not to make it sound too dramatic, but the betrayal, because it effectively says to the audience that, yeah, what you've invested in is fake.
I like how salty the writers are about people not liking it.
Yeah, well.
I think that's my favorite thing, because they're very salty about that.
I mean, that's just the sign of that's the sign of it. It's the kind of thing where it's actually the first sign of someone being a terrible writer, because regardless of your actual skill at writing, what effectively is the point that kills you is when you are unable to take criticism and you're unable to learn from it. So it's like, it's one thing to write something that's bad, because fuck me, everyone who has any aspirations to write is going to write something bad.
I mean, like, I love Gail
nature of it.
Simone. Like, I love her work. She also wrote the New 52 starter section of Batgirl that I just did not like.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, I did not like it. I love Gail Simone's work. Usually she just knocks it out of the park, but that one, no.
It's like, yeah, if you're gonna be any kind of creative, you're inevitably going to create something that is that. But I mean, I'm not even going to say objectively bad, but is going to be, for the vast majority of people, bad. And what is really the point, as I said, that separates?
And also, too, on the flip side, sometimes a bad writer will accidentally write a good thing, like award-winning comic book writer Dan Slott. I had to fit it in there somehow.
And yeah, what it actually is the mark of a good writer is your ability to go, okay, this is what the criticisms were, and then to be able to wait and then be able to sort of think, is there some legitimacy to criticisms? Because usually, there kind of is, at least in terms of understanding the way audiences think and react to certain things. Because just because something plays a certain way in your own head doesn't mean it's.
I mean, sometimes it can be dumb stuff, so it's that thing where you gotta like listen and kind of parse it out. Because sometimes you will like get dumb criticism or critique. Because like when I was in college and doing game design, I remember when I surveyed one of the testers, because we got like random people to test, they kept suggesting to me to implement a mechanic that was in the game that I even had them use at one point. And so like there is like a thing where you kind of gotta parse out still, because people will say dumbass shit.
I didn't mean like everything, but I meant like. Usually, any legitimate, what I would
say
is
legitimate
like
criticism, yeah.
A criticism that is like not just kind of women are in this and women are bad or something.
Yeah, like we're like, I critiqued like the Ghostbusters 2016. Is that one? Is that the year?
I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
Oh no, I never saw it.
I watched it. And I critiqued it where I was like, yeah, its biggest issue was when it would try to do a joke, it would let the joke go on too long, and would end up ruining its own gag. and that was its biggest problem. Like, that's me giving a critique, me being mad because woman is someone saying that's not a legitimate criticism. That's just someone being a fucking child.
Yeah, and I always think of, like, examples like Alex Kurtzman, the writer of such amazing things such as the Transformers movies and Star Trek Into Darkness, and basically the man who has ruined dozens of franchises. And his general response whenever people complain is the incredibly tone deaf, well, I'm a writer and you're not, I'm a professional writer and you're not, go fuck yourself.
Or like the guys, or like what his fucking name is, the guy behind the Arrow who, when people started making quips about him with Black Canary, basically after Gail Simone said, "Hey, don't fuck it up. Don't worry, we won't." And then they fucked it up, and then people started like pointing that out, and then he basically just gave them a shrug, like.
I'm a writer. Yeah, and the classic response of, "Well, I'm famous and you're not," which is obviously not a response. It's just you basically admitting that you can't really answer, that you don't really have like a justification, and you're just going to be a prick about it.
Yeah.
Because what makes you seem more endearing than basically saying that more people know my name, therefore I'm more important, therefore my opinion means more than yours.
I'm better.
But yeah, basically, if you want to be an aspiring, if you want to be any kind of creative, and it applies to effectively anything like filmmaking or acting or anything like that, yeah, you're going to make something. You're going to be involved in a project, and you're going to directly be responsible for making something that is bad, and that's okay. Just the point is, you have to throw your hands up and go, "Yep, okay, I did that. I'm going to learn from it." Because if you act like a massive fucking cunt and go on Twitter and bitch about things and say, "Oh, it's so unfair that people don't like this movie, they don't understand my genius," then all you do is you just set yourself up for more failure, because...
And you also set yourself up for being just a running gag / punching bag. It's kind of like when people, rather than apologizing when they fuck up, where they dig their heels in, or... saying, like, "I'm sorry that you feel about that." It's like, no, because that exact thing you just said there, that's you fucking up because you're being too proud. Like, there's a point where you need to go, "Hey, yeah, I'm sorry about that. This was my intention. It's my bad. This is my fault." And then less people give a shit, and less people start, like, getting ready to just turn you into the running joke.
And also, if you're going to adapt something, don't get all fucking smug and act as if, "Oh, well, my version's better than that."
That's why I've been making fun of, like, that's actually why I really started coming down hard on the Cowboy Bebop Ed casting, because I'm like, they went, so, like, I didn't care about Jet being black, and I'm pretty sure it was even, like, early when they announced it, like, I was just like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. But, like, if you're gonna act like that, we're like, oh yeah, we're being inclusive, and then you look at Ed and go, we're casting that as a white girl. You don't get to do that without someone, with half a brain, me, pointing out the hypocrisy of that. And the reason I say me is because I still have yet to see other people pointing it out.
Well, that would require people having to watch Cowboy Bebop, and no one did that, and that's why it's been cancelled.
Yeah, it's true.
So who cares? It's dead.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I don't, like, care. It's dead. It's just one of the things that I'm making fun of the people on the side that were, like, defending it that way. It's even more towards them, where it's like, you guys are propping yourselves up, and this is what you fucking put in front of me? You think I'm gonna forget? I'm crazy. I'll remember.
Dan will remember this.
But yeah, and, like, yeah, there are, like, dumb shit people that do crap, like, for example, like, even, like, where, like, an actor's in a bad movie and they get harassed over being in that fucking bad movie, or are they voiced in a video game that people didn't like, or what have you. And I'm like, what? And I'm just like, guys, stop.
Yeah, don't harass them for being in a bad movie. Harass them for when they inevitably get found out for doing something morally objectionable. Like children.
Yes. Actually, yes.
Like, because, like...
I'm gonna just keep pointing at the Rurouni Kenshin guy who... Literally, I will never watch Kenshin again, even though it was, like, one of my favorites when I was younger, because he's literally a pedophile.
Like I said, you just wait long enough and we all get to play a good old browsing game of Dead or Disgraced.
It's true. But yeah, I just don't like to, But yeah, no, it's just, I don't know, it's just dumb. But like, the actor thing was dumb, because I remember that happened to, the actress who played Rose in, I keep getting the last two Star Wars movies names mixed up, because I don't like either of them.
Episode 8 is Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. Like, she got harassed off of social media when all she ever did on social media was, like, post pictures of her garden and cats. That was all she ever did.
Yeah.
Like, come on! She was just in a movie you didn't like. Like, fuck off. Hell, I didn't even go after Dan Slott when I was making fun of his writing. He came to me and screamed at me. I don't even I don't at actors or writers when they make stuff I don't like, and I poke fun at it. I never bother them. I just talk to myself basically, or talk to friends. If that dumbass decides to roll his fat ass over and scream at me, that's their fault for coming over.
Basically.
Like, I was never gonna message. Like the only reason award-winning comic book writer Dan Slott is a punching bag to me now is because he did that. Mind you, I still, even if he unblocked me, I still wouldn't add him because I'm not a degenerate. Like, come on, I'm an asshole, but I'm not gonna do that. If he wants to come into my corner and be a dick, yeah, sure, whatever. But then he's gonna reap the consequences of that. Which he never really did, because all he did was tell me that I was wrong and call me a fuckhead, basically, and then block me immediately. And I could only even see that because of a phone notification.
Ah, well.
It's one of those things where, like, I like, legitimately, like I said, I was gonna ask him questions, like, not even be like a dick. I was just gonna be like, okay, since I was wrong, like, could you explain, like, certain... Like, I was gonna ask, like something like that. Like, since I was wrong, I wasn't even gonna say, like, argue with the guy. And I was blocked. I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. I was right. And this is one of those things where you do that. And then later he did the Franklin Fantastic Four thing where it made Franklin blackface, and that's much worse.
I just assumed that Doc Ock is his husband, though.
Yeah, I honestly think he just has, like, blackmail on most of the comic book industry, and that's what's going on.
No, it's not that. What it is, it's the same thing with, like, Kurtzman, in that I think of it as, like, this. It is effectively like the circle jerk of the entertainment industry.
Yeah,
I can see that. I think of it as, like, well, because it's the old adage of there's no such thing as bad publicity is what it comes down to. Because from the perspective of a lot of people, it's like, oh yeah, sure, everyone is talking about you on Twitter and saying how much they hate you, but they're still talking about you. It's like, unless
you've done something right.
Even if they're burning an effigy of someone, it's still like, yeah, but it's kind of like almost like Guy Fawkes, and everyone's like, oh yeah, this Guy Fawkes, everyone keeps talking about him, but it's like, well, he was a pretty shitty terrorist. He wasn't even a good terrorist. Like, he didn't actually blow anything up. He got caught and then killed. Pretty bad, but we still talk about him these days, so everyone must have, yeah. It's that kind of weird thing of, and it's the kind of thing of when you can therefore say, like, you get a writing credit on a big movie, and even if that movie is like only a middling success, it's still a credit on a movie that you can then go and say, yeah, but I was involved in this project. So it's such a, as I said, it's such a circle.
Oh yeah, it was funny when I was shoveling snow the other day. I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, honestly, like, if I got offered a role in, like, something stupid, I'd do it because it's like, oh, I have a credit now. That means I'm basically in the door.
And you also get to meet people, and that's really how you actually get it. And that's really how you get most places.
Yeah, by just bumping shoulders with the right people, you then get there.
It's like, oh yeah, sure, sometimes you'll be that person who writes that novel that, like, becomes a hugely successful bestseller, and then you subsequently go on Twitter and ruin yourself.
Except for not really, because people still will buy Harry Potter stuff and you still make money out of that.
Oh, they buy Harry Potter stuff, but they are very careful to not let her say it, to not let her be seen or her.
Oh yeah, she still gets the money for it.
she's very much not not.
They always try to do like, oh no, no, we this has nothing to do with them. I mean, the Earthworm Jim one's funny because the so Earthworm Jim's creator, who is a prick, doesn't get any of the money from the show that's being made because he doesn't own the IP. And I remember a really riveting conversation I had to have with someone where they didn't understand that him only owning the rights to the comic book doesn't mean that he owns the rights to the character still in any shape or form. He can just write a book with them in it. They didn't quite grasp that.
I always find it funny to remember that Earthworm Jim is Dan Castellaneta, and that once upon a time he did have a career that wasn't The Simpsons.
Yeah, he used to be like a voice actor in like a number of shows.
He's really prevalent. He's a really talented voice actor as well. Is the awful thing.
Yeah, it's kind of he also did honest to God, I know he's no Robin Williams, but he did a pretty good job as the genie.
And it's like you hear him in like all the other things he's done. Like he was obviously the Robot Devil in Futurama.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good role.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't. And like honestly, I think the Robot Devil is probably like one of his funniest roles.
And obviously voicing like half the cast of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Just going back to effectively anything from like around the sort of 80s, 90s, and you'll probably find him. And it's like, yeah, he was a hugely talented voice actor, but he did the correct thing, which is find something that will pay him millions and millions, and then stick with that.
Yeah.
You can't fault it. Like, he must get paid fuck. He gets paid fuck loads for doing episodes of The Simpsons.
Yeah, no, he does.
And especially in a gig like voice acting, where things always get a bit finicky unless you're, tied up with something like Funimation, who will always have some weird project that they've decided to go in on and not really look into.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Interspecies reviewers.
Yeah, that was like, with how long Funimation's been at the game, it's so fucking funny that they did that, considering that's like a 4Kids move. Like, whenever 4Kids would buy an IP and be like, oh shit. Actually, Fox did that too back in the day, where when Toonami was the big game, they bought IPs of 3 shows specifically just to make sure Toonami didn't get their hands on them. They bought Rayearth, Slayers, and Esclafone. And I think they actually aired like 1 or 2 episodes of Esclafone before they were like, oh shit, we can't do anything with this, and then stopped. They apparently started, and I only know this because Lisa Ortiz has mentioned it, and she doesn't remember it fully, but she's pretty sure they did attempt a censored dub of Slayers, but canned it because she remembers a modified version of the Dragon Slave chant, where like they got rid of the word blood and stuff like that. But she doesn't fully remember everything that they did because it's been so long. But Rayearth, I know nothing other than that they owned the rights to it and just sat on it, so Toonami wouldn't be able to get it.
Sensible option.
Because that was like, for the audience, that was the big anime boom of like the early 2000s, late 90s.
Back when everyone was trying to get in to be the next Pokemon, effectively.
Yeah, because Pokemon, like realistically, Pokemon is what opened the doors to that boom.
Pokemon made it super Pokemon was the thing that pushed it into the mainstream.
Yeah, and then like
it was like
without Pokemon, Dragon Ball wouldn't have taken off because Dragon Ball attempted to take off here several times and never quite hit the mark until after Pokemon.
But all that to say, Funimation continues to make questionable business choices.
Yeah. I like a lot of their stuff, but let's be fucking honest.
Definitely could do with at least looking into what they're deciding to dub before they dub it. So that, yeah, we don't just have the point of having to just air literally just a black screen. Even it's the kind of well, whatever. I'm sure Funimation knows more about what they're doing than I do.
Maybe, I don't know.
Right, it would require me actually subscribing to their streaming service that I'm not going to do because I watched like one show.
I think I did like the trial for just so I could watch the finale of Dragon Ball Super because I was like, all right, I do want to check this out. I do want to see this like as it's happening, and that was about it. And I was like, all right, I'm good, and then I just never really used it. Because a lot of times either I'll watch it through other means like a show, or a show I really like, I will try to get the DVD set because I just like having it.
I might try doing the doing the free trial thing when that Kamen Rider double anime ever like finally comes out, because they're doing the dub of it.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah. And maybe if they have like one other show,
shit.
I'm like,
Judo almost got fucking exploded.
Yeah, get it, Cabin.
Judo's a good boy. No, he didn't. That's Camille.
Yeah, they can all explode.
Oh, come on. Judo's the good Space Noid. Remember, we had a whole bit about that before.
No, it's not because he's a Space Noid. Just, you know, some days people gotta explode.
Oh, he didn't. He has 76 health left.
I know,
76 HP in a dream. It's okay, he's blowing up Hamon right now.
That's gotta be some kind of euphemism.
Maybe? I don't know. I don't want to think about it.
Well,
I'm still sad that I forgot to deploy Dan of Thursday, because I know who's going to be showing up after this.
Maybe Judo could have been like a mother to her.
Mother? Ah! We'll never stop making fun of that.
I mean,
I still unironically like Hamon more than Char.
Maybe if they stop making fucking mother shit. But they won't, but they just don't.
Because Tomino has big, massive mommy issues.
Massive.
He has mommy issues out the wazoo. What's funny is people, when they realize, like, as they watch more Tomino stuff, they slowly realize, they're like, wait a minute.
I mean, I always just find it funny how the fairy from Elgheim shows up in Dunbine. Like, it's just literally the same character, the same name, and the same design.
I think Dunbine come first.
No, I think Elgheim did. I guess I'll go and check.
Unless it's I
remember having this
I don't remember which one came first. I think we had this conversation.
Elgheim is 1984. Dunbine is... Oh, I guess it's 1983. Alright, so it was Dunbine then.
Okay, I thought so. Because I was like, the one is more fantasy, and then this one's just like, all of a sudden, a pixie's here, because why not?
Because we're doing Gundam without doing Gundam.
But Tomino said he hates sequels.
What about Brain-Powered?
What about Brain-Powered? Wait, yeah, I think we did that bit too, except for I said what about Brain-Powered, then you said what about Brain-Powered. We're doing the same bit again, damn it!
No, it's fine, because we're just, like, now basically a sitcom. We've done, like, 100 episodes of this, so we're in syndication, so it's fine to be lazy with our rating.
Ah, okay. So is there gonna be the part where I just, like, walk in the room and go, hey, and I punch a jukebox?
There'll be a point where Sabo goes upstairs and we'll never see him again.
Oh, no, that happened, like, in the first 2 episodes. What has to happen is Sabo has to get married and go to the military, and then his little sister takes over the show. After she comes back from her spin-off show.
Or maybe when good old cousin Urkel comes in.
Urkel is just... Now that I know the full scope of the Urkel thing is just so much funnier and more depressing to me.
Like Urkel.
Exactly like Urkel. Because it's like, oh wait, the show was supposed to be about the mother. Oh god.
Yep.
This is sad, and then it just became the Urkel show with his weird inventions. Like when he turned himself into Cooler Urkel.
Okay, we're ripping off the Nutty Professor.
I think it was around the time the Nutty Professor came out too.
Well, you know, the Nutty...
Well, the Eddie Murphy one.
I was going to say, because the Eddie Murphy one is a remake of the film with Jerry Lewis,
Yes,
it?
yeah, it is.
I don't remember what year.
But, yeah, no, that came out way before that. But, I just seen, like, that episode happened around the time of the Eddie Murphy Nutty Professor one, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
I thought Eddie Murphy Nutty Professor was, like, late 90s, early 2000s, but...
I think it was older than that, but I don't know.
I'd have to look it up, and I don't really want
I don't
to
really care. I don't really care either, to be honest with you. Yeah, we had the power of Google, but I also have the power of not caring.
But here's the problem with the power of Google, right? Is that whatever you Google then gets fed into the algorithm machine. So you have to be even careful about what you actually Google. Because then it's like, I don't want to be fucking recommended clips by that shit. It's bad enough I get fucking sent clips about The Matrix. It's like, I only liked one of those movies, and that was like, you know, nearly 20 years ago, and I barely remember them.
I don't like any of them, so it's that thing where it's like, I kind of sit there on the sidelines and it's like out. It's like, oh, okay, there's a new Matrix movie. All right, whatever.
I chose not to see it.
I will say I do find it funny when those weirdos use the I took the red pill thing over being anti-trans when it's by the trans director team. I do find that funny. And I find it funny that they apparently watched it, yet I know that better than they do, and I never watched it. Like, what the fuck? Or at least they say that they watched it.
Yeah, well. I'm just sat there thinking. I'm just sat there watching The Matrix. Like, I get it. He's Jesus.
Yeah, that was me with it too. I was just like, okay, I get it. He's Jesus. Can you shut the fuck up now?
And then you play the one video game where they basically say, and then he's Jesus, and I'm like, I get it. He's Jesus. Can we just go back to the punching?
Hey, I wanted to let you know.
You know what though?
He's Jesus.
You know what though? We have to give Matrix Revolutions credit, because without that we wouldn't have 10,000. Yeah, we wouldn't have 10,000 fake, fucking live-action Dragon Ball movie trailers.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't you remember those?
Oh yeah, that meme where they used to, where everyone would be like, "Hey, look at this new live-action Dragon Ball," and then it was always like a Matrix clip or something. I remember for years people were like, "The Matrix is the closest we'll ever get to a live-action Dragon Ball." And then unfortunately we got a live-action Dragon Ball, and I wish we didn't.
It was memes before there were memes. Back in our day, when we just called them videos.
No, they still called them memes back then.
Memes were invented in 2012.
No, they were around when we were young. Because like one of the earliest ones I remember is the fucking dancing baby in Peanut Butter Jelly Time. You know the guy who sang that died in a shootout with police.
Yeah, the problem with you saying that now is that doesn't have the negative connotations anymore. It's like you say shoot out with police and you're like, yeah, they probably did deserve to get shot at though.
I think they actually did.
So...
Like, actually, I like, not even joking, I think they actually did.
So, I'm talking about, like, the police getting shot at.
The band.
Sorry. Oh, they just... wait, I think we're both confused now. Because I was saying the police deserve to get shot at because...
I'm sorry about the actual law enforcement, I just made a quick joke real quick.
Oh.
I was just having a little bit of a laugh for my own sake.
Oh.
Because I thought it was funny.
That was your first mistake.
Don't worry, it'll be one of many mistakes that I make. I'm good at those.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. This will blow up a fuck ton of these things. That's weird. Noriko hasn't really been around to blow up as much stuff. She's been kind of in a weird place in the map. This is my own fault.
I look at the time of how long we've been recording, and I'm like, man, remember when YouTube only let you upload 15-minute videos?
Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, I know the recording time. I've been looking at it and I'm like, this map is still fucking going, but it's like too close to being done to really like want to call it too. It's one of those.
Those were the days.
Remember before when you could only make them like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I think there was even a shorter limit at one point in time too.
Remember when there were basically 3 kinds of videos on YouTube? There were AMVs, vlogs, and fucking drama bullshit.
Hey, don't forget, Let's Plays were still around back then.
Ah, yes.
Technically, the way we do this is still like the old school Let's Play way, because like long form playthroughs are not the thing nowadays.
Well, now it's all meant to be quick edited.
Yeah, it's now it's like kind of quick edited, like snippets. Usually with the person playing the game, not really playing it, but just kind of like, you know, goofing off with it.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of it is also like cut from streams and shit like that.
Yeah, a lot of the ones that are close to that are like stream cuts. Like in all honesty, if I had better internet, the way I would want to go is go to streaming. Like if I wanted to try and have an audience. But I don't care, and I don't have better internet.
Also, so he's got time for that.
Exactly.
If you streamed, you'd also have to get a face cam, and then how could we sit with? And then how could we?
Oh no, I could become a VTuber.
Right, but then all. See, the VTuber would have to wear no pants because you stay on brand.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, it's fine. I just make the model be like a goblin, and then nobody cares.
And then just say it's his nose that's flopping around. Goblins have noses there. Everyone knows this.
What do you mean you don't know this?
Exactly. You disguise the sick goblin born with clever puns. They'll never see it coming.
There's one VTuber who's like mostly text-to-speech, and just every now and then they end up just doing the and welcome to Jackass thing right before they get fucking pulverized. Or jump off a cliff in the thing.
I'm surprised VTubers are enough to understand that reference.
I've figured out at least a couple of the popular ones, like the shark one. She's like around our age. And same thing with the Reaper one, because she'll reference very specific things from our age group, and I'm like, wait, you two are almost 30. If not possibly 30.
Yeah, well. You know what, though? I do take some solace in the fact that we are effectively the last generation. We're effectively like probably the last generation that could get away with having to live through climate change. So
I see what you're doing there, you fucked up asshole.
We get to take solace in the fact that the world is fucked, but we'll probably just as it starts to get really fucked, and then we don't even have to suffer the blame because we didn't cause any of this.
All the people who did are already going to be dead.
It's perfect. It's the best of both worlds. We get to watch the world burn, and we didn't even have to. We're not even at fault for doing it.
Fucking hell! I knew this is where you were going, and I still hate it.
Look, just because I'm enjoying Oblivion, not the game, obviously.
You were a little too quick. I was about to make a joke, going, "I didn't know you liked Elder Scrolls."
I'm just sat here drinking hand, waiting for it all to blow over. And by blow over, I mean blow up. The crazy climate change weather to effectively eradicate the human race. Look, man, everyone says, "Oh, climate change will destroy the world." No, it won't.
This is our favorite part of Hold on, this is our favorite part of the Gunnex Sword. The part where the children die.
Yeah, I mean, on brand, really, for this channel. Look, there's nothing wrong with hating kids.
Listen, all they had to do was not blindly charge the Arcadia, and then they wouldn't get killed by the psychopath. Like, come on. It's their own fault. Cause and effect.
I know what they were getting in for.
What's that? They're only 8 years old and probably don't? Nah.
Look, if you're old enough to pilot a mech, you're old enough to suffer the consequences.
Exactly.
Gendo knew.
It's true.
Also, not being funny, when I was 8 years old, I knew not to go with the fucking strange man with a claw hand saying, I want to be your friend, little boy.
When I was a kid, we had this guy named Dr. Claw, and we were told he was a bad man, and the 8-year-old in that one said, fuck Dr. Claw, I'm gonna fuck up all his plans, while everyone thinks my uncle did it.
What if it wasn't Penny though? Why doesn't someone do that when they recontextualize Inspector Gadget to say, no, actually, it's a fucking Machiavellian plot. He knew exactly what he was doing at all times. He was just obfuscating stupidity, like he's fucking Columbo or something. Well, actually, Dr. Claw, it was me all along.
Who do you think made that computer for Penny, huh?
You thought it was Penny, it was me!
That computer that tells her exactly what to do? Who do you think made that computer? Who do you think gave it to her? Oh!
You bought it, Claw! My immediate family bought it!
Even my dog bought it!
Even the chief bought it!
Even he started to get suspicious!
Man, man, Vince McMahon is a terrible person.
He is.
Just saying.
I'm glad his company's dying.
Well. Anyway.
It's a good thing he's an idiot and he's stupid and old and can't figure out what he's doing wrong. So he's just marching into oblivion.
So he's just laying off like dozens of people and then saying, I really love firing people live on air.
And then he tries to rehire them, and then some of them now, because there's now there's big game around that can also pay them, are just refusing. He's like, what do you mean they're refusing? All I did was fire them. Why would they not want to come back?
Probably also helps that things like Dark Side of the Ring is incredibly popular, and every episode of that has at least one moment that,
and then
Vince regardless of anything else. And then Vince McMahon entered the picture and made everything worse.
Yeah.
You can almost time it exactly every episode. So anyway, this was all in Japan. Anyway, and here's where Vince McMahon made everything worse. You're like, fuck, god damn it, Vince.
Just remember, WWE was created by him deciding to ignore his father's dying wish. I always like to point that out. It's fun. I don't know if Dark Side of the Ring has mentioned that or not.
I've not got that. I don't think they've got to that yet, but who knows? There's probably a new season coming eventually, maybe. I don't know.
Because, basically his dad on his deathbed was like, hey, don't go into the territories. Like, don't mess up the territories. Don't try buying up the territories, please. Sure, Dad, sure. So anyway, is he dead? Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna start buying. So, yeah. Vince was never a good man.
Never.
You're a mean one, McMahon. You really are a cunt.
You know, we didn't talk, since we didn't record a lot over the sort of December period, I've got to ask, did I miss something? Why did that Jim Carrey Grinch movie suddenly become a thing everyone was talking about?
I don't know.
Like, I can't work it out because it's not even like it's not good. It's just bad. Like, it's just really obnoxiously bad, and I can't work out why everyone just suddenly like this is like so many unrelated channels were just talking about it. And I'm like, but why though?
I don't know. Don't look at me.
It's not even like bad enough to be all so bad it's good. It's just it's the worst problem of being a bad comedy. It's unfunny.
The only part that was kind of funny when I was young was the part of him fucking around the cave and like screaming at the cave and his answering machine. That's about it.
Yeah, but I mean that's just generic Jim Carrey stuff. You get that in any of his good movies.
Exactly. Like so, it doesn't salvage the movie. I'm just saying that this is the only funny bits, and you can watch like clips of that online. So who cares? Why watch the whole movie when you just watch the Chuck Jones animated thing that's only like 20 minutes long and better?
We'll just read the book.
Yeah, either or. The book will probably take you like 6 minutes to read or less. The cartoon will take you like 20 minutes. Hell, read them both and you'll still have time. Do both. You'll still have more time than if you watch the Jim Carrey movie. Or the Illumination movie. Just don't forget there's that one too.
Just a hot property, I guess, The Grinch. Besides, we already live in a world with The Grinch. It's called COVID-19.
You know what? I think it's time to leave.